about what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, streaming live on the South Florida Live Networks, YouTube, Facebook, and simulcast on the gargantuan and celebrating today 5 years. Let's Eat South Florida, 121,000 members.
Picked up 1,000 since last week. Unbelievable!
It's unbelievable. We pick up 1,000 like I'm at a poker table or something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna pop some bubbly now to celebrate. I've got my Ritz seltzer. I'm not going to start drinking champagne on the air, even though I can afford a decent bottle these days. How are you guys? How was your weekend? Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz.
Go ahead, Lubie. You go ahead. Win.
Was very calm, except for the fact that I am counting down the days for my in-laws to return because it's been a freaking zoo at my house. 2 dogs, 2 cats, 1 dog being a 2-year-old husky who wants to play constantly, and it's 3 small animals. So it's been so fun. The dolphins getting annihilated. So I'm more curious than your weekends.
You got the Marlin Perkins Wild Kingdom. Did you ever see that show? Is that a little before your time?
I don't know that show. I know the one the fishing show Defo always talks about. I've seen clips of that. I've seen the show that you just referenced. I don't know.
Well, I had a very eventful weekend filled with fun and food. But Defo, let me go to you first. Anything exciting happening in Casa de Defo? Any kind of gambling exploits or eating exploits or anything to remark upon?
Good time. I had a little success gambling, not quite of the Mayo proportions, but always good. I walked into the Harrah's Casino there, formerly known as the Isle, formerly known as Pompano Park, formerly known as the winter capital of harness racing. And I had like $42 in my wallet and cashed my first couple of tickets. So I was up like 4 sticks right away, walked out a winner. So I was happy with that. And then last 2 hours, you know what? See, you would question this because of the old age factor, but I accomplished more in the last 2 hours in a mad dash where I dropped off the Mustang at the airport, treacherous out there on I-95.
Oh, geez,
Not quite as bad as it could have been because the rain wasn't that heavy. Driving back from Gulfstream Park on Friday, I don't know if you left the area there around 1:30 like I did, but man, I literally was the first time in a long time that my windshield was opaque.
Yeah.
And anyway, go to the airport, had to whirl around. You should review this for Lubie and his pets. I was just telling him had to pick up dog food at this place called Meals for Dogs. I've mentioned on the show before, and the food there actually, when you walk in, it smells so good, Michael, that you are tempted to ask for a table for 2. I mean, it's really good stuff for dogs. It's kept my dogs healthy for a long, long time.
Well, that's Skippy, good. If it works for Skippy, and Skippy is still here and alive. And
he's doing good.
He looked like he was on the way out for a little bit.
Stopped at the bank, had a chance to walk Skippy, and got here in time for post.
Isn't it funny how the productivity and the mood, like things start happening as soon as maybe the other half is gone?
Oh, yeah, you go.
I mean, I was anticipating this. Airport drop-off is among my favorites. And then I have to... I have to give a little special appreciation for a couple of our sponsors. When I got home, I was trying to resist this, but I still had some of those desserts from Gilbert's in there in the fridge, and I took a bite of one of those cookies. Oh, my God. That stuff is great. And then almost as if driven by magnetic force field, when are we going back to Wicked Cheesesteaks? Because
this Thursday.
I need to, as much as I'm trying to avoid this kind of thing like you are, I need to try their new soft pretzel. I really do.
Oh, well, no, we're going to be back there. We missed a little bit because of everybody's travel schedules, and Brian had some things going on with staffing. But we are going to be getting into Wicked for the Thursday show this Thursday.
Oh,
we actually got to try to come up with a contest. He wants to pull a winner, so I'm going to hatch that idea in the next day. He wants to feed people because that's the way Brian is. On his dime, he wants
Score of
to.
the Eagles game. Whoever
Yeah,
comes
well,
closest wins.
well, speaking of that, we're going to have a little bit of a contest quandary. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but let me just set the table. A couple of things. Speaking of sponsors, we want to welcome to the Lunchbox today, starting today officially. I mean, we've done some stuff with them in the past few months, but Burt Rappaport, talk about class acts and legendary figures in the South Florida dining scene. But the Rappaport's Restaurant Group is now on board as an official Lunchbox sponsor. And we welcome them and their fine restaurants. There's 4 of them. It's Deck 84 on the Intracoastal and Delray Beach there on Atlantic Avenue. And then further west on Atlantic Avenue, Burton Max's. Great place for contemporary American cuisine, family friendly and pet friendly. They got a doggy menu. Speaking of doggy, treats and dinners, but that's on the outdoor patio, the pet friendly. And then, of course, we have down in Boca Raton Max's Grill, over 3 decades at Meisner Park, and they are part of the Rappaport stable now. And last but not least, Prezzo Italian restaurant, 2 locations, Boca Raton and Palm Beach Gardens. And we were in there last week feasting in Boca with Eddie Pizzoli, one of the managing partners who partnered up with Burt. So again, welcome to the full stable of Rappaport's Restaurant Group restaurants. It's going to be a great season, all kinds of great specials. Usually all 4 of them have all kinds of happy hours and Sunday brunches and different bottomless brunches and loyalty reward programs. And we'll get into the nitty-gritty in the next few months as we visit all those locations a couple of times again. And I'm looking forward to that, Defo, because I like associating with good people and good places, serving good things at good prices.
Very good, Michael. You got all that out. My friend Nick Doyle. I was going to interject here. My friend Nick Doyle, long time in the beverage industry, was with Premier Beverage for a long time, and now is out on his own, representing, has been for a long time, Pilar's Rum, which seems to be doing very well. And he was in Burton Max's. And it turns out he's good friends with it's Buddha, right? What's the nickname for
that's
the manager there?
Yeah, Buddha Steve something, right? But
and they had a great picture, and I guess they're welcoming, Pilar's Rum. They must serve it there or whatever, even if they don't. Big ringing thumbs up. I mean, Nick knows his restaurants. He deals with them all over the country. And, he gave a big thumbs up to Burton Max's and, of course, Burt Rappaport, the legendary restaurateur. So quite a distinct mark here to have him on the show.
I mean, we've got the Studiales of the Tropical
class
Acres.
of the class.
Yeah.
We've got Burt Rappaport. I mean, I don't know why they want to associate with somebody of my ilk, but
you've been an embarrassment of late, but at least you've been lucky of late, which maybe it's a sign you're showing dedication.
Well, you were speaking about
spending the swamp, walking 5 miles.
Sometimes in life, all you need to do is kind of maybe a change in scenery because, I do a lot of my poker playing at the Hard Rock. It's close to me. Sometimes at Dania, which is even closer to me, but I don't love their tournaments or tournament structure. So I went to your place there on Saturday night, Defo.
I was there Saturday afternoon until about
now
5
known
o'clock.
as Harrah's, but used to be known as the Isle and used to be known as Pompano Park. But they ain't no more Pompano Park.
And the winter capital of harness racing.
There is no more harness racing. There is no grandstand. That's all been knocked down. They're redeveloping it. I was surprised to see there's a Top Golf complex that's sprouted there. My daughter loves that, so maybe I can have her drive me up there one night and I could drink and she'll play Top Golf. But
if they're simulcasting within range, I'm not going and hitting golf balls. So I mean, let's put it that way.
No, that's you. I know you're not going to be.
A lot of people would find that entertaining.
You would rather hit the early double than hit any
much rather
top flight golf balls. But Saturday night I took a flyer. They have this kind of 20,000 guaranteed tournament, which is kind of a zany one because at the end of the re-entry period, they offer for $100 an additional 100,000 chips, which makes it basically the tournament doesn't really start until that point, which is about 9:45 in the evening, and then everybody has a ton of chips. And then it ends up just being, anyway, it was 164 entrants, and I made it down to the final 4, and we agreed to chop it up at about 3 a.m. So I got myself almost 4 dimes, which is a pretty good rate of return for what was a $250 investment. So I'm happy. It got me out. It got me off the schneid, and because I had gone through a little bit of a drought. But that's the whole, that's the thing with
you made it all back up in one swing.
The gambling, especially tournaments. I've hit
Dave
3.
Kingman. Yes.
3 big scores and a lot of strikeouts. But that's
That's it. That's
It's
good,
all
though.
good. Hey, today on the program, we're going to be welcoming. Did I say we're going to be welcoming Gretchen
You
Day
did, yes.
Bryant?
That was
I'm
about 5 minutes ago, man.
Hold
at the top of
No,
I might be having some dementia.
you're worse than me keeping track of the scores on the trivia challenge at this stage of life.
Yeah, well, Gretchen is going to be chiming in soon. And okay, let me describe the contest conundrum, quandary, whatever.
Yeah, what
you wanna
happened
call
now?
it.
Yeah, what
right.
rules did you invent now?
So no, okay. So what I wanted to
Oh,
do.
because you were going for like the score of this year's Super Bowl, also.
No. Okay, so the
Because you were too
tiebreaker.
lazy to write the names.
It worked out almost. Okay, so basically the contest for Gulfstream this week, the restaurant was Raffles Bar and Grill that was at the Dadeland Mall.
Classic,
It was Burt
legendary.
Rapid Horse
Rappaport
Special.
and Burt and Dennis Max's first major success, and a bunch of people got that right. And then of course we had this wasn't the oh yeah, it was the chalk. Was it the chalk or was it not the chalk? I don't even know. But Mattingly was the winner of the.
Did I have the two? You sound like Hank in those
so did
final
everyone
days when he was doing broadcasts from Gulfstream, and he was sort of out of it a little bit. We love the man, but and it was, is that the two? Right in the middle, like a guy's calling him, hey, what do you think about the Dolphins this year, Hank? I'll hang up and listen. Was that the two?
Yeah,
It's good.
the lunchbox. It was number 4 was the winning horse, Mattingly, and there were a couple of scratches, but Mattingly was not actually the post-time favorite. So only people who picked number 4 were eligible. Then the tiebreaker was give me the winner and the score of the Dolphin game, and I was
Who
gonna
had a
do,
Buffalo blowout?
So we had 4 people that picked Buffalo
Okay.
to win, along with the winning horse, Mattingly. My question is this. We had somebody that predicted a winning margin of 14. The others were 7, 7, and 4. Do we do it by winning margin?
Yeah,
or
14
then,
wins it. Sure.
That's why
Closest.
I asked you Friday because it sounded convoluted. And
Because
that's
the
what you
the one who had it by 14
said.
also was most off base in terms of the final score. She had it as being 21-7 Buffalo. So she was kind of way off
It
on the
doesn't
final
matter,
score.
though. She had,
Okay.
she had the
Closest
closest to the
margin.
winning margin.
Okay, because the others were closest to the point total. Somebody had 35-28. Somebody had.
that is a
yeah.
quandary, actually.
Excellent.
You never established what the rule was going to be.
I didn't establish them
because you were making up rules as you
Said
went along,
closest
which
margin.
is dangerous.
I think I was going to say by margin. I think whoever predicted, if Buffalo won in a blowout by 28, so whoever had Buffalo by 14, I think should win more
Yes,
than
the closest
it
margin.
wasn't who came closest to the total score. It was who came closest in predicting the, I guess, margin of victory. And in that case, we don't need no stinking hat.
All is
although-
precipitated by your laziness because you didn't want to write some names down. Now, look at the mess that you've created. There's going to be, when Gretchen comes on, they're going to blame Let's Eat South Florida.
No,
for
no,
this
they're not going to be
controversy.
doing that. And I think in the spirit of the contest, I think the margin is the overriding factor here, not the total score.
We didn't
And
ask you
again-
what's the total score. So you said pick the team and the score, and I
Right.
asked you, okay, now we know our people. They're very specific. What if the people are close? How does that work? And you said, well, whoever has the closest margin. That's literally
You mean by margin. Okay, so then it's clear cut.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right.
Oh, we talked. That's what I didn't trust it because we've had a lot of these in our day where people.
I was
are-
stupid because the way I should have framed it is just give me the winner by the number of points. So somebody would have said Buffalo
Margin
by
of victory.
14
Yes.
versus somebody who said Buffalo by 7. Basically the 4 people who had it were Buffalo by 14, Buffalo by 7, Buffalo by 7, and Buffalo by 4. So I think by that standard, we don't need to put any slips. But I did have my Marlins hat ready to go.
What'd you
Congratulations
think of that,
to the
Mike Mayo?
Marlins.
You became a fan at the end of the year.
Oh, I'm
You
gonna
were
follow
a
them
great
very
bandwagon
closely.
jumper. Yes.
Yeah, totally. You know me. I am the quintessential South Florida fan. I am jumping on the bandwagon, and now not only will I have an opinion about every move that skipper
critique.
Skip Schumacher makes, I will also be vehement about it, like I actually know what I'm talking about. And they're going to be facing the Philadelphia Phillies 3 straight games, all in Philadelphia, because that's how the wild card craziness works now. There's no home games for the Marlins this round because they're the lower seed, and it is the best 2 out of 3 series, but all the games in Philly. So they've got some work cut out for them. But Jim Sarney tells me that the Phillies are a better matchup than the Brewers because the Brewers just beat them by 3 touchdowns the other week, and then the Marlins have a winning record season wise against the Phillies. So we'll see what happens.
Did you want to get into the ultimate question? Because I've changed my mind on the answer, which is what's more overrated, the stone crab or Bryce Harper?
I don't want to get
You've been
into
asking
that.
that question for years.
Yeah, and the proper answer, since we're going to Delaware Chicken and Seafood Farm on October 19th, and those that hope to attend will say Bryce Harper.
But I mean,
because we
it's
love
not
our
like you're
stone
putting the
crabs.
stone crab up against nothing. The guy was the MVP last
He's
year.
won
So,
2 MVPs actually.
yeah.
The stone crab is the MVP.
You know, it's a close call, just like this decision about how to decide the contest.
Now, you might have a problem. You might take issue with the value of the stone crab.
No,
versus
I
the-
love stone crabs.
No, you don't
get me
seem to
wrong.
love it if you keep constantly denigrate about overrated.
This was
Well,
just
the
a
price-
sports question because you know Bryce Harper was making $300
Can I
million
announce the
a
winner?
year.
Can I announce the contest winner? Now
You
that
can do
we've
whatever you want. I mean, it's the Mayo show, so go ahead.
Announce the winner.
Jeannie Jaffe, congratulations. You won
There
this
you
week's
go.
contest. You
Oh,
had the
nice.
final margin at 14 points.
I thought you were going to announce
the
Luca Panici as the winner.
biggest that was the biggest lopsided Buffalo pick out there. Jeannie Jaffe picked 21-7 Buffalo.
Well, wait a minute. Don Jaffe was just on the chat line here.
Yes,
Says
he
my
says-
wife should be in the drawing.
Yeah, well,
She even chose the dreaded Bills.
yeah, well, she's the
There was
winner.
no drawing. Yeah,
there is no
straight
drawing.
up winner.
She wins outright.
Nice
this
job.
is why this was my whole intent. I didn't want to
I
have
hope
to,
she's taking Don.
those little she knows nothing about sports. That makes her exactly the perfect candidate to be the winner, because it's usually the people who know the least who end up winning the most, because conventional wisdom is neither conventional nor wise a lot of the times, right, Defo?
You're calling on me to respond to your philosophies now, which are bizarre. We know that. I don't know what you're saying. All we know is that Don's happy, and he said his wife knows nothing about sports, and it would have taken a bold predictor to say Buffalo. I thought Buffalo was going to win that game, but I did not anticipate a blowout. Let's put it that way.
Nope.
I thought the Dolphins were still a threat going into the second half, even though they were trailing. And looked like they were fading a little bit, but they just never got it together. And Buffalo, we all overreacted to that first week of the season when they lost to the Jets.
As they said on Monty Python, one of the Monty Python movies, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, and that's what happened. Nobody expected a blowout. Again, it goes both ways. The Dolphins did the blowing out last week, and this week they were the ones who were blown out, like a birthday candle or an anniversary candle. So
That would have been unique, though, if they had scored 71 week and yielded 70 the next.
Oh God.
yeah. Well, no,
Which
but
would have put us in an interesting category, which looked like that was a possibility for a while.
But as I said on Friday, this was not really a must game for the Dolphins. It was a big psychological game. They would have been, totally puffed up and confident in leading the division. But they could actually afford to lose this game and still end up doing just fine at the end of the year and still winning the division and getting all kinds of home field advantage. But right now, you got to give the edge to Buffalo because they beat them head to head. But enough of this silly sports talk. We got Gretchen Day Bryant on the video screen.
Oh, yeah, look at
there
that.
she is.
Wow.
Is that a green screen or is that the actual backdrop at the Casa de Bryant there? Gretchen? How are you today?
No, this is not. No, this is virtual.
I think it's the same one that Chris Perkins.
Yeah, I didn't want you to see my
You have the
mouth.
same pool as Perkins.
It must be the Sun Sentinel pool. They installed
Yeah.
that after I left. I missed it. How are you today, Gretchen? Happy
I'm all right.
anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah, happy anniversary, Mikey. It's been fun.
What do you think? What is, I guess, as we kind of look back over, I don't know whether it's the wreckage or the mountaintop of Let's Eat South Florida, but just give us, I guess, your thoughts about how it started. What's they always put on Instagram, how it started and where it is or something. like
Yeah,
that?
something like that. So yeah, I mean, we just had this little idea one day in the newsroom. Hey, let's start a group. And Mike said, "Okay, what's a group?" And so
He was agreeable to it right away. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
believe it or
Wow.
not. Well, he
Yeah.
didn't know what he
Caught
was
me on a good day.
Yeah, exactly. And
He's more like Lou Grant around the newsroom.
yeah, he's got a little bit of that animal in him. So yeah, we launched it and we kept watching the numbers crank up. First it was a dozen and then a couple hundred. And then 5 years later, it's what, 121,000?
Yeah, and change, which is kind of crazy, bigger than many cities in the South Florida region. But I think a valuable resource if you could wade through some of the extraneous
You
material.
know, it's a huge resource, and it's a lot of fun. I'm always picturing people scrolling. They're lying on their couch on a Sunday morning or late at night, middle of the night, and what do? They come to us for fun and entertainment.
Yeah, and it is entertaining. Not always fun for us admins when we have to
No.
put people in their places and remind them to put the damn city in the first
Oh
sentence.
my God.
It would just be so easy. It's like automatic. Just say Prezzo and Boca Raton and Heritage in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all that.
So in preparation for this little conversation, I did start to think about my pet peeves.
Okay.
Nice.
Am
Is
I at the
Mayo
top
one of
of the
them? Or,
list?
Well,
I like when he
can't live
attacks
with him, can't live without him.
when he attacks somebody like he was Barry Scheck doing a cross-examination in the
I'm not
OJ
attacking.
case.
I ask
yeah.
questions. I try
Did
to-
you ask the manager? Did you do this? Did you order a water? I mean, it's always great. What do you look at, Gretchen?
You know what really annoys me? Those pending posts that are not complete sentences.
Mm,
It's like best pizza.
right.
What about it? Don't you have enough time on your hands to write a complete sentence? That really bugs me.
Yeah.
No
wonder I can't get anything in there, Gretchen.
Yeah, he's the master of the incomplete meandering thought.
Meandering thoughts is one thing. At least it's a thought. I mean, just like best pizza, that's barely a thought.
Best
Right.
pizza's good, yeah.
But it's a
So,
way to get 20,000 impressions because people love those pizza posts.
yes, they do. The Karen. That's just.
Oh, I'm so sick of
old.
that.
I'm so
Karens
sick
and
of
Kens
Karen.
and-
I know plenty of lovely Karens. They don't deserve it. So we have our alerts set. So anytime a post, a comment, Karen pops up, we see it. Zap, zap, zap. Just don't do it. Be a little bit more creative.
Right. And again, it's become misused. Its original creation and meaning had, racist connotations.
Yeah.
A Karen was somebody that would call out on somebody in alarm because there was a person of maybe a different skin color nearby that they didn't like. So I think Karen, the whole term has been misused, abused, and just say, and again, thank you. I'll just leave that.
And it's misogynistic too. I don't like that.
Okay.
And telling people to stay home. I mean, come on. That's just so tired. Don't do that either.
I do that to Defo all the time because all he does is complain.
I'm the last to complain. The funny thing is, Gretchen, Lubie and I like the site far more on the page, far more than Mayo does. Because we know how to distill things down, and it's actually been a great asset. I recommend it to everybody that I talk to when they start talking restaurants. Say, hey, I've gotten at least a dozen ideas for places to go that I've been to that I probably never would have thought of just by looking at the consensus of thoughts on Let's Eat South Florida.
Absolutely. And that's what it is. It's the consensus,
Yeah, you try to arrive at. But the thing that I like, when we created it, we wanted it to be a forum for both sharing information. If like somebody, again, found there's a new place that just opened in their neighborhood, and maybe we missed it because it's a mom and pop that doesn't have a budget for a big PR firm, and so it was valuable in being a two-way street and building a community about. People would get information from the newspaper, but we would also get information from the people on the ground in the community in the group. So that part was wonderful. But the other thing is I completely lost my train of thought now because I'm just
how it started. Talking about how it started. Where's
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How did it all begin, Gretchen?
the early days, and you're
Yeah,
trying to
the early day. No, but what is frustrating now? Oh, right. So we didn't want it to be another Yelp.
Right.
And what I dislike the most is, those Yelp-like reviews where they're just grousing about stupid crap. And, they complain about, they charge $1 for filtered water, or, they don't give me bread, but they didn't even ask for bread. And then what I like about the group is the fact that I can be a Barry Scheck and other people can either offer their own opinions or correctives in terms of they've had a different experience at a place. and then you get a consensus by reading a full string of whether this is maybe an informed opinion or an uninformed opinion or a valid
Right.
critique or an invalid critique. And yeah, I'm talking specifically about the thing that was leveled against Heritage over the weekend. Have you been to Heritage,
Yeah.
Gretchen?
Oh yeah, I've been there. I love it.
Yeah,
Love
and
it.
It was weirdly generic. He was complaining about stuff like my grandmother used to
it
complain.
was a she. It was a woman, and
Oh, see, okay. They were complaining. It was just like we've talked about the criticisms, and it's okay to criticize places. No-
Absolutely.
but they're just they didn't check on me 17 times, but they rushed us out.
No,
can
they
how can
didn't.
rush you out but not check on you? How does that even? That doesn't make any sense. That's not possible.
And the woman was complaining about the vessels that they served the hot pepper flakes and the grated Parmesan cheese in, like the ramekins or the glass dish. Like that to me is
Yeah, I don't think I've ever noticed those at when I've been
No.
there. I've not-
It made me wonder if there was something else at play there, but I'm not even going to start speculating. All I know is this, Gretchen. We're going to be doing a remote show from Heritage this Wednesday with the
nice.
character, the chef Reno Cerbone.
Yeah.
And again, he's an interesting character because he's not one to just shy away and nod and take a negative review by turning the other cheek. He comes back by slapping hard on Yelp. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit with him about that on Wednesday, but it's an interesting place. Meanwhile, Gretchen, I have, I guess, a question for you. I understand that you were out and about with your husband, Steve.
Yeah.
who I know well, Friday night. And you attempted to go check out Tom T's place, but what happened?
What happened was, so I don't want to call us early birds because that has a negative connotation, but we kind of started our evening earlier than we should have. So we wanted to go to eat Tom's Louisiana kitchen food. He was doing a pop-up at Roxanne's on Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale.
Nice.
And as you know, Mike, we kind of stay within our radius. And so that was within our radius. You know, I don't really go outside my radius too often. So I'm not going to go to Boynton Beach probably. So anyway, that's because, you know. So anyway, so we went there and had never been to Roxanne's before. And I'd always wanted to check that place out. I remember when it was Lester's. Bar.
Oh, it was a bar, right? A kind of dive bar.
A dive bar, and we have stories we could tell, but we won't on this broadcast. And I just remember back in that day, they had the coldest beer in town. Well, so we go to Roxanne's, and honestly, not to be too complaining too much, but it was really cold in there. We had a booth, and it was air conditioned, and then we started to get hungry, and it was raining out, and.
Did you see Tom was out back?
I did see Tom, but by that time it was sort of like, okay, we need to eat. We got to go. He wasn't ready.
Right. I heard he was late setting up.
Yeah. So
he was there till 2 a.m. I got there about 9:30 and was able to see him. And again, speaking of Tom's Louisiana Kitchen and Tom Tanazzini, sometimes he's on here watching the show. That was one of the more gratifying things about the last 5 years of Let's Eat is here's a guy who was a retired chef who then just, he was getting bored and he has a passion for the Cajun Creole cuisine because he worked a while in New Orleans. And he just launched, one day, put up a post. Hey, how would you all feel about if we did like a pop-up Cajun food truck or whatever? And like the whole idea was kind of hatched and birthed on Let's Eat. And it's been really gratifying to see how he's followed through with it. Now he can't stop himself. The guy just every week he's somewhere else and his menu is a mile long and he's just creating new dishes because you can't keep creativity down. So it's been really good.
Yeah, well, I regret not staying, but we did redeem the evening by going to Miso, a new Japanese restaurant near in the Progresso neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale. Hadn't been there yet. So we had a great time, great food. Love the vibe. We sat at the bar, so we were able to sit and watch all the action, which is always a lot of fun, and I highly recommend Miso.
Yeah, and I've been there several times. I've talked about it here, and I don't know. I haven't really done a full post on Let's Eat about it yet, but I don't think so. It opened in June, and Twan, who I don't know if you got a chance to meet Twan.
Yeah, I said hi on the way out. Yeah.
he's a great guy. He was one of the co-founders of the Fat Boy
Right.
Sushi,
Wow.
which is now a chain. But he kind of had a parting of the ways with the other family that was running it. And I think Tuan is really a passionate, dedicated chef, very talented. My only problem, it's called Miso Japanese Tapas, and I keep telling him he should change the name to just Miso Bistro because it has a better ring to it. But
Yeah.
nobody takes my advice. But I'm not a consultant. I'm just the guy who goes around eating. But the food is great. Defo, even if you're not the biggest sushi fan, they have all these different cooked dishes. Did you try? He kind of gives it as a lost leader. He has a platter of like 4 pieces of Wagyu beef. That's priced reasonably for Wagyu.
We just did the sushi. We had some rolls. We had some sashimi. It was really good. I can't wait to go back.
It's hip and trendy. That was the place, Defo. Remember, I went with Phil Marrow from the Lauderdale Food Festival, and there was a table as we were walking out of 20-somethings that just
and they love you,
immediately
yeah.
recognized me.
Yeah.
They were like, "Are you Mike Mayo?" And they squealed with delight.
Did you
Really?
expect Mayo to
Really?
develop a groupie following, Gretchen, when you began this?
I did not
venture?
expect that. No.
Let's Eat South Florida. I have 2 questions. I hope you can answer for me, Gretchen, from your standpoint. We know where Mike stands on this. Where do you go to get authentic Chinese, and is there a place for New York pizza?
Oh my God.
Does it even exist? Because we've heard it sucks in South Florida.
I hate to say this, but I haven't been to New York enough times to have an opinion about either
Yeah.
New York style pizza or New York Chinese.
Well, when you
I've
see
been to Hong Kong. I can talk about Hong
Okay.
Kong Chinese.
yeah,
Go.
when you see those posts pop up, I mean, do you just send them to Mayo's mailbox?
Oh, there are certain posts that if they're
He loves them.
in
He
queue,
loves them.
I just completely ignore, and I'm like, this one's for Mike. I am not.
That's one of the ones where you just click on. We have the whole menu of what rule it violates, or it's like use the search function.
Yeah.
Please search first.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
discussed ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Do you ever use the word authentic anymore in your writing and or your work after seeing it butchered?
Yeah, that's another word that we really ought to just retire for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whose authenticity are we talking about? To me, there's just either good and excellent, worthwhile, or not so well executed and maybe mediocre. You said 2 things, Steve. Oh, you're talking
Pizza
pizza.
No, I was only kidding. I mean,
Chinese.
I know that drives you crazy. I didn't know if it affected Gretchen in the same
Well,
way.
when we order, we just need a slicer or something. We just need something at the house. We
Yeah.
tend to order from Times Square on Oakland
Times
Park
Square
Boulevard.
pizza.
I know you're not a
Yeah.
huge fan of that, but my
Not a
kids
huge-
grew up
Nope.
on Times Square
Yeah.
pizza, and when they come back, they like to eat that.
Let me ask you this, native of South Dakota. Where do you find real South Dakota lutefisk in South
You
Dakota?
find it at what's it called? It's a little warehouse in Lauderhill.
There's a place.
There is a place. I went there last Christmas. I did not buy the lutefisk, but I did buy all the other things I needed for my Christmas dinner.
Nice.
I'll remember the name of it when I get off, but it's like a little tiny warehouse retail store with all sorts of great Scandinavian food, with some frozen dishes, frozen foods like the lutefisk, and I got venison sausage.
Oh, nice.
And
See, there's everything in South
That's great.
Florida.
Good stuff.
And for that woman who came in riding on her high horse from Texas saying there was no good food. Did you see that?
I
post?
did. I'm
And
like, oh, come on.
I was a little uncivil maybe to her. One of the rules is be civil, but one of my other rules is, you basically get what you give. And in her case, she came in with such an attitude
Yeah.
that I felt like I had to kind of, again, without saying she didn't know anything, I was saying she didn't know anything, because if you don't think there's good food in South Florida, you're just not even, you don't have your eyes or your mouth or your stomach open to
Yeah.
anything, right?
Yeah. There's just so much, and it's evolving and growing, and so much ethnic food, different ethnicities, I should say.
Yeah, diversity. I mean, there's like 74 different types of cuisine in Broward County alone,
Yeah.
I believe. And I keep saying that number. I might have just made that up one day, but I heard it from the Visit Lauderdale folks. But yeah, we are blessed. In look, Miami might be trendier. Palm Beach might be Tony, a place for socialites and former presidents. But Broward is the place to be in terms of really hunting out some great food finds.
Absolutely,
especially
moms and pops, and yeah, really. I do think we need a little bit more Ethiopian food. I'm just sort of mystified
African.
as to why there aren't more than a couple
More
places.
Ethiopian.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's one stand at the Yellow Green Farmers Market.
Yeah.
But as far as there is a West African restaurant that opened out in Pembroke Pines. I have not gotten there yet,
Huh.
but that is one of the few African restaurants out there. Gretchen, question. I see that the Sun Sentinel has started like kind of a Thursday happenings page. It's kind of like a rebirth of the old weekend section that used to be on Fridays. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah. That was we brought that. So yeah, Showtime kind of died in the pandemic, like so many other things. And so we brought back a weekender section that runs on Thursdays, and it's full of things to do. Ben Crandall's Go Guide, which is always really popular, just kind of a roundup of all that's happening that weekend, and movies and restaurant news, and yeah.
Yeah, you usually run that. Does the openings and closing list come in the Wednesday food
Yeah,
section? Or is the
that's on Wednesday, but
Okay.
we used to do it every week, and it just got almost like too much to handle. Right. So now it runs. We do it monthly.
Any plans for any food restaurant reviews in that Thursday section? Are you looking for anybody?
Not right now.
You're out of luck, man.
You're the worst.
You took your money and ran.
You're the worst.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh. Hey, what else was there anything else on my agenda today? I guess no. I guess that's going to do it. Unless, there is one more thing. The 5th anniversary, there's 2 types of gifts. One is the traditional, I guess, is wood, and the modern is silverware. So if Let's Eat people were to send you a piece of wood or silverware, I guess, what would the wood be used for, and which piece of silverware? Because I don't use silverware. I just use my hands, now, especially when.
Yeah. Well, I think that I would like a big, beautiful wooden salad bowl. That'd be nice. I do need a new.
That's a good wood item.
Yeah, I do need a new salad bowl, and a decent soup ladle. I've been making a lot of soup, so that would be nice.
Okay. That's those are 2 fine
actual
items, but we're not, again, journalists not allowed to accept any
Correct.
gifts.
That's correct.
But non-journalists like me now, I just send them.
Yeah,
right
you'll
my
take
way.
anything.
It's called a schnorr.
Yeah.
Common Jewish vernacular. I mean, what this man has been doing is short of criminal activity. Gretchen, I don't know if you were involved in scrutinizing Mayo's expense reports when he was the food critic there, but I heard they came into more question than Sam Bankman-Fried's handling of the finances. FDA.
Why do you think Tribune Company went into bankruptcy twice?
They couldn't wait to get this cat out of there.
You spent how much on lunch?
What?
What?
Who's this Lafitte Rothschild? I mean, the last Lafitte he was involved with was Lafitte Pink Guy. All of a sudden, he has to make up for the losses.
This is kind of a funny story, a little bit of a tangent, but Rod Hagwood, one of our writers, he used to do a lot of traveling. He covered the New York fashion shows, and he would cover the fashion shows in Paris. And one time he came back with Red Lobster on his expense report. And I actually called him into my office and said, Rod, is this accurate? You went to Red Lobster? And he's like, I can only go there when I'm out of town because I don't want anybody in South Florida to see me there.
That's Mayo at
likes
Skyline Chili. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a
That is
disguise
funny.
like he's in a poker tournament.
You never would see me handing in an expense report with Red Lobster. It would have
Yeah.
to be Lobster Bar or someplace with very
Yeah.
Maybe a 5-pound lobster, but not red lobster.
Those were the days. Do you have any like top spots around town now that you like?
Well, I
going to
mean,
besides
miso,
miso?
I cannot wait to go back to that. Lately, a couple times recently, I've gone to the Mason Jar Cafe, which has been there forever.
I just
Popular
passed that
spot.
place. Yeah.
That went there for lunch a few times recently, and it's packed for lunch.
It's nice.
It's
The one on
nice.
Federal. There's
Yeah.
there's one on Oakland Park that has a little bit different menu,
Yeah.
but the original one,
Yeah,
really nice, lovely place.
it really
I went there
is,
for
and
lunch a
and
year
they
ago.
have a great turkey sandwich. So that's just very comfort food. Um, I have been to Goldberg's, the new deli.
You have or
I
have not?
have.
Yeah,
I have.
What'd you think?
So we went on a Saturday morning, my son and I, and he claims to be a real connoisseur of bagels, so he's very
Okay.
particular. He probably gave it a B. He thought the onion bagel, the onion pieces were just a little bit too crispy for his
Yeah.
taste.
Oh.
So,
That's New York style.
well,
you know,
he doesn't like charred. He doesn't like
Right.
char stuff. So anyway,
typically
I thought it
onion-
was good. The service was a little rocky.
It's the first
I know. It was,
3
well, I
weeks,
was gonna say,
Gretchen. What
our
you know-
server actually said that we were her second table. So
Oh, jeez.
no problem. I am not.
How'd you
but-
do with the first one? Did you,
yeah. It was a little slow, but it was
It
fine.
happens.
You know, they kept the coffee coming, so I was fine.
We hope that Mark Goldman, it's a spot that's had some troubled history. And, Mark Goldberg, I know because he's one of the partners of Grandpa's, the newly, reformed Grandpa's down around the corner from me, that him and his partner down there, Mark Freed, turned it into also a bagel breakfast joint and a New York style deli for lunch. Their bagels there are fantastic. And I heard that Goldberg's obviously has a string of bagel shops up in Long Island and some in New Jersey. Mark Freed is not a partner. He's not involved with Goldberg's. It's strictly Mark Goldberg and another partner. But again, Mark Goldberg, I'm sure, is using the same bagel recipe. And again, those opening weeks, there's always some glitches with getting the servers on board. But I wish him nothing but
No, I thought the
best
bagel
of
was
luck.
good. It was nice and fluffy on the inside, just like I like it. So it was good.
Look at you, a girl from South Dakota,
I know.
talking.
I think I was
interesting
New York
I
bagel.
was
bagels.
20 before I had a bagel.
that was the other big question. Where
Did you
can
used to
get a good
pronounce it?
bagel? Yeah.
Back.
Yeah, Did you used to pronounce it bagel?
Something like that, yeah. But I think the restaurant that we go to more than any other is Zona Fresca. It's like,
Oh yeah, nice.
just it's like
I meant to-
when we have no food in the house, that's where we go, and it's fresh and
Yeah,
delicious, and we like it.
You're a big Mexican fan. I'm going to let you go because I know you're a very busy
I have a
woman that
meeting.
is running a newspaper. So I'm going to let you go. But last question: have you tried Mr. O1 Extraordinary Pizza yet? I'm
I
hearing
have
good
not.
things
I have not. We're trying not to eat so much pizza, you know.
Oh,
I
well,
know,
look
it's
at
very
you.
sad. Very sad.
You and Steve. All right. I tried the one in Pembroke Pines, and I would call it Mr. O1 pizza.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it extraordinary, but people seem to like it. But all good. All right,
All right,
Gretch,
thanks for
thank
having
you.
me.
Congratulations, and I'll see
Thanks
you
to you,
on the
Mike.
Let's Eat group. Yep.
Reel him in, Gretchen. Yeah. Reel him in. That's our advice.
Good luck.
It's always been this way, huh, Mayo? I mean, we can tell. It's always been this way.
It's always been
Yeah.
this way. Hey, let's
I
talk
did
about
want to say,
Tropical
you know
Acres.
what? When before that, it's Goldberg's, right? The bagel place now.
Yeah.
When it was Frankie and Johnny's, it was good. I think though the problem was that among the ownership, they were also a group of degenerate gamblers, and I think they might have gambled away the budget at one point, and
happens.
then they met with some hard times. What was it after that? It was something like dog related or whatever. Barking.
No, it was called Brown Dog
Yeah.
Eatery. It was one of the Be Nice restaurant groups. It was also a comfort food. American.
I
They
was
did
there
some
once.
lunch.
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't
It's
wasn't
okay.
amazing.
I gave it a
Yeah.
positive review. I thought it was the food there was fine. It just didn't have a big vibe.
But the legendary Johnny Meatballs was involved, and world renowned for his meatballs. A bit of a character too, and that was a good Italian restaurant. I was surprised that they didn't succeed, except when I found
a
out,
lot of good Italian
that
restaurants.
they
out
missed the
there,
Pick Six
including-
one day at Santa Anita, and then the next day they were closed. That was it.
Oops. I guess they
No,
put a
I
little
think
too
I think
much
the
into
word
it.
was that most of that money somehow surfaced in Saratoga.
All right, let's get to some business because we got 2 breaks to do and not much time to do it. Tropical Acres, it's Monday. A rainy Monday is a perfect time to go into Tropical Acres and enjoy half-price wine nights. I might go in there for a little happy hour tonight before the tournament at the Hard Rock because the happy hour is legendary. From 4:30 to 6:30, you go in right when the restaurant opens the dining room, but the bar has half-price drinks, wine, beer, including top shelf stuff like my Belvedere for my martinis. I love it there. And I also have an array of very nicely priced, $6, $7 light bites, including their sliders and escargot, a little bit of a caprese salad. Those are some of the things you can get out of there in the bar for $20 and leave well satisfied with drink and food. But then you would be cheating yourself. You want to go into the dining room and have some of their great specialties like the prime rib and the filet mignon, rack of lamb, and the twin lobster special is going on for a little over another month. $39, two steamed fresh Maine lobsters. It comes with a salad and a side dish. You can't beat that deal. Tropical Acres is at 2500 Griffin Road, just west of I-95 in the airport. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Funny, too, there was some controversy sparked there on Let's Eat South Florida about Tropical Acres, of course. Somebody was paying him a big compliment, saying how great the food and the service was, and sort of made an aside reference to some of the comments that we've seen in the past where, well, and he said, so who cares that there are old people in there? And the people attacked this guy, whoever put the post up. I don't know if you were behind that.
Dan Cook, he's my friend.
Yeah, and I don't think he was saying anything in a
was trying to
disparaging way.
defend
I think he was saying, hey, people should become hip to this place. Let
Yeah,
old people
no,
just have it to themselves.
He was saying, he was responding to a lot of past
Yeah.
critiques. People saying, "Oh, it's the clientele." People who are ageist. I really despise people who are ageist.
But you are
Mr.
one.
Septuagenarian.
All you do is bring up his age.
You have such a senior
that was-
bias.
There's a little bit of a humor there, but again, more Mayo hypocrisy.
Exactly.
Absolute hypocrisy. But, people are used to it now. We've done a good job, I think, of exposing what you really are all about.
Yeah.
To the people
As
out
you
there.
should.
But no, Tropical Acres is always great. I don't know how anybody could complain. I did have a ribeye steak somewhere else that was priced on the menu at $56. The baked potato was another 10. If you wanted another side, it would have been another 10. So you were talking about $76 for what you could get at Tropical Acres for like $32 or $33. It's unbelievable.
It's again, value, service, quality. That is what Tropical Acres is all about.
You didn't sound like you had a lot of conviction behind that, Mayo. Come on, bring some.
Well, I'm trying to get to the
Tropical
actual
Acres.
spots.
Get
It's
to it.
12:47.
Yes.
The trains are running
My
late today.
goodness.
And it's raining. All right, let's do
Losing
some
a
business. We'll
Well,
come
let's
back.
go.
84, a Delray Beach favorite since 2010. Casual waterfront dining right on the Intracoastal and the Avenue. Located at 840 East Atlantic, there's valet parking and dock and dine available. By land and sea, this is the place to be with modern American cuisine, fresh seafood, and a sushi bar. Stay cool in the interior dining room or chill out on the air-conditioned outdoor deck and bar. All your favorites are here, including burgers, tacos, and their great spinach cheese dip. Weekend brunch until 2 p.m. and live music every Saturday and Sunday afternoon. For reservations and more information, go to deck84.com and tell them the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back.
That's what you
on
get
the
the buzzer,
Lunchbox.
Mayo.
I'm a little rough today.
I don't know why
guess,
you're so
yeah,
spaced out. Because you won money? Or you had a good weekend?
No, because I was up till 3 a.m. that night, and I only got I was sleep deprived heading into Sunday.
right.
And yesterday there was some drinking involved. It was a doubleheader.
Okay.
Daytime at Three Sons Brewing, because that's kind of like a Bills bar, and I wanted to go in there and taunt them if the Dolphins were winning.
How'd that work
Three
out?
Sons, not so
Probably
good.
quiet. I presume you were probably quiet for that.
We drank some good beer. Then I walked home through the puddles and the storms, and managed
So
to.
proud of you sticking with it. I mean, like you were in Apocalypse Now, like you're Martin Sheen. No matter what they throw at you, you're going to go find Colonel Kurtz. It's great.
Yeah, I think I saw the sign in the YMCA that determination and discipline is doing what needs to be done when you don't want to do it.
There you go.
You posted
so
that
I'm
up. I
doing
thought
it.
that was an original on your part, but
No, and I'm gonna be, because I couldn't get the walk in this morning. Was busy doing some work. Now it's pouring. I am gonna go to the YMCA after the show and get a little workout in. You need
a little
shit to
workout.
get
I mean,
the
when you haven't
toxins out.
when you haven't worked out though, like maybe in your life. I mean, in a gym workout. What were you ever a weight guy? I was never a big weight guy, but I've been in.
I started weights
Oh, yeah.
again. I used to do it. I used to, believe it or not.
Do you even know what to
Defo,
do? Like, I mean, what do you do?
Back when I was married,
Lubie's a exercise freak in that.
for my 40th birthday, when I first became a father, Michelle got me a bunch of sessions with a personal trainer.
Was that a
So
suggestion
I-
on her part? Or,
No, she got me. She actually booked me with 12
you
sessions.
were in shape
with-
though back then. I
No,
remember
but I
a
was doing
svelte Mayo,
weights.
good-looking male.
So I did weights the other day at the Y, and 2 days later, I was so freaking
Oh, yeah,
sore. I
that-
couldn't
that's
even
what
bend my arm. I was like, going around like a
Lactic acid, yeah.
chimpanzee or
You
just like I
You
couldn't
look like
bend
Ray
my arms.
Lewis coming out of the tunnel, just like you couldn't bend
That's
your
it.
arms because they were so full of
Yeah.
steroids. Yeah.
It was anyway, it was sore, and you got to work through that. Just like when you start running again. If I ever
No,
started
don't
doing
run
the-
on the cement.
Yeah.
That'll kill you.
No, it would be bad.
Yeah.
But then last night, made my way over to the Abiaka restaurant at the Hard Rock, where Michelle Bernstein.
Yeah, how was that,
the
Papa?
acclaimed chef.
That looked good. The pictures
great.
really did.
Yeah, well, I put it up on the Let's Eat group this morning. And it was great. I mean, Michelle, very gracious. I put the reservation in my name, so they knew I was on the books.
Of
and
course, you put it in
Michelle-
your name.
Oh,
What kind of crap is that, Mayo? Oh, I put the reservation because you wanted a freebie.
yeah, because you're
I didn't want any. Look, she did give us a complimentary starter, and she greeted us. She hand delivered that. That
It
made
wasn't
me
a
feel
complimentary starter like, hey, here's a nice starter.
Oh, and this was with your lady friend.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also and one of her children, one of her
Oh,
sons.
and you were meeting her
grown
son, and you were
And,
meeting
yeah,
her
it was-
son. I mean,
Insufferable
That's me.
is the way
you're
that
the
we.
worst.
But we had a really nice time and some great dishes.
Oh,
some
by the way,
really frou-frou things like this tuna crudo where they shaved. This is something I've never seen. I've seen dishes where they shave fresh grated Parmesan cheese or truffles, but this was tuna with fresh grated foie gras torchon, and torchon is like a little. It's
I'll
a
take that
block
personally.
it's a block of foie gras that they shaved over this tuna crudo. It was fantastic. She also did something called an.
Did
egg
you ask
yolk
about the
carp-
sugar content in that dish?
These were all
As,
sugar.
as you were, dipping your full fist into the plate. No, okay,
And it was-
because that looked pretty rich. Whatever you had there, it looked really good.
It was, some of them were rich. It was a preview dinner. She's going to be reopening Senora Martinez. She's married to David Martinez, so she is Senora Martinez. But that's going to be in Coral Gables next year, probably about February. She's told me it was going to be opening. And meanwhile, she did this little 4-night pop up at the Hard Rock, and it was really quite nice. We had a great time. The food was tremendous, and it was always good to see Michelle Bernstein. Of course, people know her from Check Please South Florida on PBS, the show that's very popular, and she's a celebrity, I guess, judge on Top Chef. Sometimes she's been all over the place, and she's great. And she met her husband for the first time because Senor Martinez, David Martinez, who operates and is he's more into the beverage and cocktail part of the food world, and both of them were going around the room. It was great, very, very nice time. So. Again, these are the things that one does when they have a big score: is go out and celebrate life, and enjoy every sandwich, and enjoy every tuna crudo with foie gras torchon. So that's how I roll. Defo,
You're a
it's
shot
time
fighter,
to.
man. Throw it to this next break because we're running out of time.
Well, let's go to the next break, but we got to talk about Delaware
Very
Seafood
good,
and
yeah.
Chicken Farm, where we will answer the question: is the stone crab
Well,
overrated?
the answer there
In
is
my mind,
obvious. It's Harper. Let's hope he bombs
yeah,
out.
it's a
this series.
resounding
Yeah.
no. I love stone crabs,
Is that
especially
this Thursday or
when
next Thursday?
no, it's not. Stone crab season begins
Oh,
October
okay.
15th. And the first Thursday after the beginning of stone crab season, which is October 19th, we'll be in there to do the show. And I'm sure you won't be.
I have no problem with the stone crab.
love
See, you
stone crab.
misunderstand. You always want to like throw some connotation in there that's
Really
negative,
Christ.
no matter what anybody says. But it's just a question. I mean, it doesn't mean that.
Oh, the way I ask questions on the group. And then,
You're a
it's
sheck, though. You
just.
really are. I'm surprised. Gretchen immediately knew what I was talking about when you start doing that. Cross examination of some poor guy who just happened to contribute to Let's Eat South Florida. And you're like, well, do you have a license to practice law? I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm
Guy's an
lucky
Uber
'cause
driver. I
Gretchen-
mean, and you're busting his, whatever.
Gretchen
All right,
still
what
puts
about Delaware
something
Chicken
funny
Farm?
on She does. All right, Delaware Chicken Farm, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, right across from the classic Seminole Casino. There's a big chicken on the roof, and it's a great place to go to pick up whatever you need for your home grill, home cooking, barbecues, parties, dinner parties, and holiday celebrations. It's all there at Delaware. And besides the great seafood and fish selection, and Florida lobster season is ongoing. Stone crab season begins in just 2 weeks. It's unbelievable that it's already here again. And they have fresh fish from waters near and far. They have the greatest in poultry, including chicken, duck, turkey. It's almost going to be turkey time too. You're going to have those holiday Thanksgiving orders in, and the steaks, pork, sausages, Delaware fish dip. Whatever you need, walk in there. It's really a marvelous place for people who enjoy good food at good prices with excellent service. All those people behind the counter take great care of you. Owner Doug Carter, been there since the early 60s. Delaware Seafood, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. It's DelawareChicken.com is the website for the weekly specials and the daily offerings.
Sagrado loved it, man. The sausage, man. Don't forget about that. All right, we'll come back and wrap up. Wow, just a crazy edition here. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Mayo all over the
My
planet.
brain is fried. What are you going to do with me, guys?
The same thing we always do. Shrug it off and go have a good time the rest of the day. Back in a moment to wrap up Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me. I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices, served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all: Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. And we're back on the Lunchbox to wrap up a Monday edition. What do we got going on this week? We're going to be at Heritage Restaurant in Fort Lauderdale on Wednesday. We're going to be at Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale on Thursday. We're going to be at 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park on Friday. Tomorrow we'll be home again, and hopefully I won't have to break out the kayaks or the rowboats because it's getting a little dicey here again in
raining again.
Dania Beach.
Raining out by me the whole day.
I'm a little bit scared because I look at the radar now and I see this banding effect, and that's always when things get a little sketchy.
You love it. You secretly love it.
No, I don't love it. I don't want to have to go through another flood claim. I'm good. I've got enough insurance claims to last a lifetime now, and now I'm trying to.
You're going to be a co-defendant with Trump. You keep cashing these insurance checks.
Anyway, thanks again to Gretchen Day Bryant. Oh, and happy birthday to loyal Lunchbox viewer Judy Green-Eyed Girl.
Yeah, way to
Happy
go, Judy.
Birthday. I see her on the chat line that she's going out.
She's always there for us. Always.
You stay dry. I really do appreciate our loyal viewers and listeners, and tell your friends about it. Share the links. And again, Let's Eat South Florida. Congrats to everybody who puts up with me and also contributes to the site. 5 years today. Again, don't get me any silverware because I won't use it. So that's it. All right, Defo, I'll let you go. Spring you loose.
Yeah, I got to get out of here. I'm going to try and squeeze in a walk of life. I didn't look outside. I thought it was stopping the rain.
I don't know. You might want to bring some a poncho and some.
The rain doesn't stop me.
galoshes.
If it's torrential, it kind of, it gets a little dicey.
Lightning
like you
gets a little
experienced.
dicey. There was
Lightning,
some
I don't like
lightning
at all.
yesterday.
No, lightning,
Yeah.
scares me at this point.
Well, that's going to do it for today. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of it. I hope everybody stays dry. And until tomorrow, it's Mike Mayo saying, enjoy every sandwich.